So, in an act of performative politics, the United States Senate folks blocked a Washington, D.C. City Council proposed criminal code change. And remember, the City Council already said they had actually pulled it back. But on Wednesday, Senate Democrats voted along with Republicans to overturn this change, which some would say ease criminal penalties in a city already suffering from rising crime. The final tally was 81-14. You had lots of Democrats, Greg, who wanted to prove that they're tough on the crime as Republicans. A lot of these floor speeches were a joke, listening to individuals. I mean, there was one guy from North Carolina, Tom Tillis, who was complaining about, the impact of this on carjacking when his own state does not have a specific law dealing with that. There was so many of these people who were just full of BS, and most of them had not even bothered to talk to folks in D.C. about the change to their code.
No, Roland. In fact, you know this better than I do, brother. Many years ago, I think it was Itabari and Jerry wrote a book called The Last Plantation. Washington, D.C. isn't the last plantation, the Virgin Islands, Guam, Puerto Rico. But Washington, D.C. in many ways is certainly the most offensive plantation in the continent, on the actual North American continent, because the people don't have self-governance. As you said, the city council chair, I think Phil Mendelssohn, they tried to pull the bill back, but that was performance theater. 81-14, the United States Senate voted against this D.C. overhaul over a century. They've been under these laws, and they want to overhaul them. Yes, it's a revised criminal code act. If you're getting pinched in Southeast D.C. and you're talking about reduced sentences for everything from carjacking to robbery, and really getting rid of mandatory minimums and dealing with some of these other things, guess what? You should be able to do that if you have voted in an election. A minute ago, finally, Roland, you mentioned the fact that there are all these local elections about to go on. In Virginia, the whole legislature is up, the state legislature. Wisconsin, that Supreme Court case that is going on there, Supreme Court justice being elected there. Louisiana, Kentucky, and Mississippi, you got gubernatorial elections. Well, those people, regardless of the outcome of those elections, can say, we participated in the political process. What does it mean to live in a city where you vote and your elected representatives say, we're going to ease the burden on some people who get caught up in a system because we don't want to have crime either? And then people from places where they call you the N-word, like they eat breakfast every morning, decide they're going to rule over you like they stand on some kind of damn porch in Mississippi in a plantation. This is the last plantation. It is indefensible. Joe Biden or Muriel Bowser. Let's just make it interracial and intersex. Both of you should be ashamed of yourselves. The will of the people of D.C. is to revise the criminal code. Damn it. Get out of the way.
Gotta love all the people who love talking about local control, Reese, who keep talking about small government and all that sort of stuff like that. But they spent their time voting on this. As if the voters in D.C. had not elected their own representatives to govern them.
Well, I mean, we have to talk about the fact that DC is still largely Black. It's not Chocolate City the same way that it used to be. It's a little more espresso with some milk and stuff mixed in there. But the reality is, like, maybe iced coffee. How about that? But the reality is that, one of the prevailing notions of the Republican Party specifically is for Black people to not have full civic involvement. And so the Democrats got this one wrong in terms of joining in on approving this resolution. Now, the resolution had a veto-proof majority, but, they need to stop the fear of being painted as easy on crime when the reality is it doesn't matter if you put 300, 400,000 more cops on the street, they're still going to paint you as being weak on crime. So this was a chance to really put your money where your mouth is with very little, blowback. But it's obvious that their fear of reprisal from Black voters is not as much as their fear of reprisal from white voters who want to believe that the Democrats are soft on crime.
Erica?
Yeah, and one of the things that I think about is that D.C. is still one of the top 15 gentrified cities. When you think about, some of the crime issues that are being put forward, what type of resources are being snatched away from people that are being moved out of their neighborhood? So I agree with Greg and Reese on this. This was definitely an easy win for the Democrats. They fell flat on their face. And they have to remember they're having to report to Black voters because we are, for the Democrats, Black women and Black men are the largest share of voters within that party. And so when you look at DC, you cannot not look at Black voters.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in Black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in Black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.